Welcome to the war. Apologies for being quiet. I feel like I'm always saying that, but obviously a lot of life changes going on. It's just this normal stuff that happens. Life gets in the way. Sort of downsized my home while I look for a new home to buy. That's been keeping me busy, but it's also, it does have somewhat of an impact on the hobby. I've been pretty motivated to build models, but I haven't really played a lot, and I certainly haven't been painting much at all. So before we get into the main course of what I'm going through, I thought I'd take you through a little sojourn through the wilderness of projects that I've tried to do here with a range of books. So first things first, Flames of War, which is never, let's be honest, it's never really going to go anywhere. I've got so much Flames of War stuff, and I just enjoy the game. I think it's a good game for what it is. I can't wait for their new releases when they get up and running again. It's good stuff. But I did build I put together a quick reconnaissance company with a bunch of pumas for the Germans. So that was a small project, but fun nonetheless. Then we get into if you can't beat them, join them land with Warhammer 40K. Picked up my Dark Eldar Drukhari forces again, really starting to build those. I got in a really good 40K building habit, let's put it that way, or routine. But again, I'm building stuff and I take one look at the rules and I'm just like, I don't know what I'm doing here. This is gonna take too long to figure out. Then we've got Saga. I love Saga. I love the period. I know it's not the most historical games, but I'd go to the mat and say this is one of the funnest games to play. But again, I don't know anyone that plays it. So got a bunch of stuff. I could, totally host games, just no one really to play it with. Then I tried Rebels and Patriots. This is one of those great Dan Mersey, offshoots from Lion Rampant. I've got some AWI forces that I was building for sharp practice. And then figured I could also use them for Rebels and Patriots, whilst getting a jump start on the rules, obviously. So again, this is one of those. This will be an ongoing project. Speaking of the good old Adeptus Sororitas, this was actually what started as my beginning of COVID project. Pretty much the last place I went before we all locked ourselves away was the Games Workshop to buy a huge army for the sisters, and I've been adding to that too. Again, building it like crazy, but not really going anywhere with it. I'm determined though. This one I will, much in the same way as these guys. I'll get it done. Then now we're getting a little desperate here. You can see, this is the list I'm going through. Trying to make use of my English Civil War forces. I have a ton of them. I really want to, be, motivated enough to paint them, get them done. I've got everything figured out. I thought this would, be a step on the path towards playing Warhammer historical with these forces, which would then be a path on to play Pike and Shot with World Games. But again, just so many steps, kind of fell to the wayside. So I turned to War Games, Soldiers and Strategy. This is more of a plug than anything. Just, nice mix of articles and different things that, I always try to seek inspiration from what other people are working on. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Anyway, that's a sort of an aside. Then we're getting really deep here, going Old Hammer. I use Bretonnia as an example, but I was looking at a ton of forces for Warhammer Fantasy Battle. I don't really know what I'm doing with that. Like, no one's ever going to play it with me. I'll wait till the old world comes out and we'll give that, I'll go head first into that. I already know. Then this is an interesting one. This is just a guide, but a very good one, again, by Daniel Mersey. Anglo-Zulu War. I really want to get my hands on the Warlord Games Rook's Drift set. But I determined this is a project that I'm going to need a lot more space than I have room for now, or time for that matter. Big endeavor. But when I move, this is top of the list. So excited about that. And then we get to the last one, which isn't a rule book at all. So, and I realized I didn't pull this book out. I bought into, over the holidays, last Christmas that is, Mortal Gods. It's skirmish game set in ancient Greece by Footsore Miniatures. And they happened to be promoting, when I was buying on the website at the time, this new game that they just funded on Kickstarter, or were trying to fund, called The Baron's War. And I know this was like recommended reading on the, I started taking a look at this. Gonna be honest, I had no clue what The Baron's War. Never heard of that, never heard of such a thing. So I pick up this book and I'm enjoying it. It's about this knight, William Marshall, who, don't get me wrong, fascinating, but somewhat, I felt Forrest Gump-like, just happened to be where the action was, many times throughout, his life. Just was a really influential on a number of events that formed history. However, while it was an interesting read, the last kind of chapter of this really captured my attention. I absorbed it crazy. It was called the last battle it covered was the Battle of Lincoln. And it was just, I was absolutely gripped by, how this was all kind of playing out, and a siege on a castle, but with like subterfuge. They were like breaking in one side, faking on the other. Just had me enthralled. So without further ado, I bought a ton of models for the Baron's War. And I went through my typical process, building out lists, figuring out what I wanted, changing it again, things being out of stock, changing the list again. Anyway, I ended up pulling the trigger about 6 weeks ago, maybe a month, maybe around that time. And it arrived today. So I thought I'd do an unboxing of all the cool stuff I got. And this is gonna be pretty interesting for me too, because I don't really remember what I bought. So let me drop a quick cut in here, and then I'll get to opening this. All right, let's do it. So I aim to buy 3 commanders, just to try to mix things up. You basically got your loyalists who were loyal to the king, and the rebels, the barons that were trying to uprise and take over. So whilst I was building all of this out, I figured, while the characters I can kind of mix and match, the troops can kind of stay the same, and I can interchange them between forces. Let's take a look. I love doing this. You're always the first to see before me. Whoop. This is what we've got. All right. Ooh, got a nice little packing note here from Tim. Thank you very much. Thank you. Fueling the habit. So we've got a bunch of things here. Ooh, the rule book is tiny. Interesting. So I bought the PDF of the rule book. It's way cheaper than the paperback one. I don't know if you can tell, this is a pretty neat, small little book compared to, I'm sure you're all familiar with, one of these. Like, it's pretty small. Anyway, handy. It's almost like pocket size. Okay, yeah, definitely going to enjoy this. I did also purchase a couple of digital downloads. They have like campaigns. Oh, there's William Marshall. Some additional things. That's the Prince Louis of France. Some cool miniatures in here. Anyway, so we've got that. That being said, I've also got these tokens. These look to be laser cut wood, but they're printed and they're very vividly illustrated. I don't know if you can tell that. Like the color for being on wood really pops. It's kind of unique looking, and they're incredibly detailed. I don't know if you can tell. Huh, never seen anything printed like that on them before. And then let's start. Where do you want to start? Let's start with the flags. We'll get to the mini last. I bought a bunch of transfers and decals for these. I'm not quite sure. Okay, so here I've got William Longsby or William Longsword, the blue, and William Marshall in the green and yellow with the red beast. I'm not too sure. I think it's a griffin. Cool. So you get the shield decals on one side and the flags on the other. And then I've got who is this? Sire de Quincy of the first Earl of Winchester, and Thomas, the Count de Perche. I'm not sure how you pronounce that. And I remember basically as I was looking on the list of flags and shield decals that were all available, and I'm like looking up in the book, like, ooh, who are they, and how did they come into contact through this? So I tried to pick the people that were at the Battle of Lincoln. I'm going to be honest, I don't remember who was what. Oh, this is really interesting. I don't know if you can tell what that is. This is, I bought some of the Geek Gaming Scenics. I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember the guy's name, but I know he's big on YouTube, that does all the cool scenery stuff. But it's funny, it's like a plastic baggie. I'm gonna put that in some kind of container. But I think that I love I loved seeing the mixture of the gravel with the flock. I thought it was a good combo, so we got that. Anyway, all right, let's get down to the meat. All right, so first things first. I remember now, they must have refunded me one of the flags, so I might order another one quick, just to keep the set of 3 that I wanted to have. I'm not sure if these are gonna be all individually labeled. They're not, but I can tell that's a knight or a pair of knights. This might be a little hard if they don't have labels on them. I'm not sure if I can be logic. Here we've got, these look like peasants with spears and such. Here, I'll pull these out. Nice that they all come with the wooden faces. Oh yeah, oh they're quite slim sculpts. You can tell there. Like all those professionals do that. I don't know, but they're quite slim. They're well proportioned, and yeah. Oh, quite good facial detail on some of them. I don't think the lighting is gonna let me do that. And yeah, I got some flash. We'll take care of that. Obviously, these are all metal. We're not dealing with plastics here. A couple more knights. More. We got some other ones here. Oh, these look like men-at-arms. Yeah, these are like mounted men-at-arms. He's got some kind of axe. I like that the horses are metal too. I'm never really a fan of when you got plastic horses with metal guys. They all look the same. Here, I think these are foot knights. Oh yeah, these guys are cool. I'm already excited to get these painted. Definitely two-handed weapon there on that guy. This guy's swinging a sword like a baseball bat. Yeah, really cool. Think I'm gonna try to trim the flash off of some of these tonight and get them spray painted as fast as possible. I will say, as an aside, I've been using contrast, the Games Workshop contrast paint quite a lot lately. But I think which require, a light under whether white or a wraith. I've been using that wraith bone spray, but these I'm definitely gonna do black. I don't remember ordering this many knights, so cool that they've all come. And these ones, the horses have barding sculpted on, which looks really cool. It's gonna look great with some of those decals on, I think. Lovely, lovely. All right, next pack. Okay, here, more men-at-arms, more guys with spears. The spears aren't attached, but they are included, which is great. I have to order extra spears. So we got plenty of those. Looks more like our peasantry. So yeah, definitely got plenty of those. Oh boy, yep. Here we've got, these are archers, I think with longbows. I did see, oh, let's take a quick look at these. These are cool. Oh wow, I like the armor and that kind of helmet. I think is really evocative of the era or the period. Yeah, really cool. Got ones shooting as well. Yeah, these look really good. I did see there's a set of Robin Hood characters. She said I'd wait till I got any more, but I'm already very impressed with these. Excited. This is good. Great. More knights. To be honest, I got a lot to paint here. This is it's typically like a skirmish game. There's not these aren't, you know, massed ranks. Oh, love these helmets. These are so cool. They're obviously more armored than the early medieval period. This is sort of mid-medieval, if that's the term. Yeah, really, like you're like stereotypical knight. The kind you'd see at Renaissance Fair. I'm rambling now, but I happened to go yesterday, and that was definitely a good primer. Ooh, these guys, oh boy, what do we got here? We got more one of these. These guys come with those awesome, but absolutely lethal separate, I don't know what they're made out of, steel spears. Yeah, this is more like one of the command sections. So I bet you there's some other good. Oh yeah, this my boy. Yep, there's William Marshall. Had to get him. I figured I with the exception of him, because he's like the main man as far as I'm concerned. I did just pick the other characters based on whether I like the sculpts. I figured it didn't really matter who it says they are. A knight is a knight, especially when they got a helmet on, or how you paint them. But definitely excited to get those painted up. Oof, I love it. Lots to do here. What do we got here? Get that bag. More knights here. I do not recall ordering this many knights. This guy has a brutal sword. That is not flash on the end of that thing. This is I believe this is Sire de Quincy. So I've got to imagine that, or this is his model at least. I've got to imagine that is a accurate representation of his sword. This guy's got, I don't know if you can tell, but we're gonna have to add a lance to him. He's got his arm lowered, ready to charge. Let's see, last bag, last but not least. These do all come with separate shields, by the way. More horses, and a couple more knights. They seem to have similar poses. They're barreling down with spears. And I think that's everything. So, keep me honest. I'm looking to really commit to a project here, and I'm already excited to get this one done. I think it's gonna be a nice combination. There's not too many to do. And I think for the most part, they'll paint pretty quickly. They're detailed, but they have a lot of like area to cover these block colors. So yeah, I'm gonna go get trimming, and I'll update you on my progress. So thanks for watching.